hello again. So anyone still in the chat room, not entirely sure what happened there. OBS just upped and crashed. It would appear that my recording is intact. Not entirely sure what happened, I'll be honest. What I literally just got to was I was discussing whether or not I thought this change in here. So this task here within Cake.Recipe has a dependency on the AppVer task that we've just renamed to continuous integration task. So what I was debating about is whether or not this build data class is now still correct. So this build data has, or does it? Where's AppVer builds coming from? AppVer builds. AppVer builds. Where is it getting that from? Where is that coming from? Port issues. So this is a function of cake issues, which is created by Pascal. I'm curious as to where this AppVer builds comes from. Now, have I broken something? I'm curious as to whether I have inadvertently removed something that was there before. Or is that something that we get from Cake.issues itself? Let's work on that hypothesis just now. And then, so what we may want to do though is that this is going to break something, but we're going to change this continuous integration. So that's definitely going to break something, but I think as far as it kind of has to be done. So we've changed that to be that. We've changed the name of the task to be continuous integration task. And we've changed it down here for the dependencies. We've changed the name of the top level task. And then within YAM, we've changed the output word. I know, Stevie, I don't know what's happened. Everyone seems to be out tonight. Brett Miller was just in here. But I've also just had a hard stop of OBS. I've literally just brought my stream back up again. So the chat that was in the video is now going away. OBS just upped and died. So I don't know what's going on. I'll be honest. But thank you for coming along, Stevie. I appreciate it. I'm breaking stuff. I'm breaking lots of stuff. Oh, you still having vagrant issues? The same hard stop that I was getting? So, I mean, I've now switched fully to use the interesting. So I've fully migrated over to using the VMware desktop provider for Vagrant. I don't use the VirtualBox one anymore. I'm actually at the point where I'm contemplating removing VirtualBox completely from my machine. Ah, of course. So I bought it ages ago. It is. You're absolutely correct. The VMware desktop provider for Vagrant is it's provided by HashiCorp, and it's a paid-for license. Yes, you're absolutely right. And I have my own one, which I use. Yeah, I'd forgotten about that. So you should definitely bug roll about that. You should. I know Paul's got one as well. And yeah, just the fact that there's no rhyme or reason to why it fails is the really annoying part. I'm trying to think if there's been a Mac update, but there's not been one recently. So I was just sort of trying to think why it started happening for you again. It just, there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's so annoying. And if another person, i.e. you, does switch over, then there's more reason to change the Vagrant files, which I've been hesitant to do because it's only me that uses them. So I've just been kind of manually modifying them locally on my machine. I haven't pushed them up. So with another person using that provider, there's more reason to get those updated. Yeah, we should definitely look to get those files updated so that they include the additional provider. Because at the minute they do separate out between VirtualBox and what's the other one? Hyper-V, but there's not an explicit one for VMware Desktop. So we should get that done. Now, where did I get to with this? I was looking at the issue, which was 259, I think. Is it 259? I think it was. Conversation 259. Yeah. Yeah, 259. So back to here. And we're going to say GH-259. Rename top level entry task. Switch from AppVer to continuous integration. Can't type. I'm going to say, I'm gonna YOLO that. I'm gonna push that straight in. I'm not, because I can't type. Git push origin. That felt wrong. Oh no, it was right. Okay. So I think I might just have broken something. So in order to test that out, I need to go to here, and I need to look at the CI build. And if that CI build completes, then I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to change this to whatever the build number is. And I'm going to attempt to build it with the latest package, and it's either going to work or it's going to fail. So, do we think it's going to work? Is the question. I don't know. Let's wait for it to finish. What's the build number? It's running. It must have set the build number by now. 124 is what we're after. So if we go in here and say 124, save that into the tools folder, and delete that guy. And if we attempt to run this build, it's either going to work or it's going to fall on its face. Let's have a wee look. That's fine. I understand what that warning is. Oh, that's... That blew up. Output path is obsolete. Is running on Azure pipelines. Does not exist in the current context. Is running on Azure pipelines hosted. Does not exist in the current context. Fine. Now, why not though? Which one are we using here? Interesting. But it was there. Is running on Azure pipelines. Oh, hold on. Is running on Azure pipelines. I took him at his word, but it could be that that wasn't included. Is running on Azure, up here. Azure pipelines. Please consider Azure pipelines instead. It should be there. Which one did that go in on? Blame is running on 9 months ago. This commit 33. It should be there. Why is it not there? I spelled it right. Is running on Azure pipelines. Okay. Build provider.cake. So in here, build provider.cake. Oh, no. Oh. If referee, I've made a mistake. Fairly sure I've made a mistake. Cake.Recipe, content, build provider.cake. I'm fairly sure that should be context. What change did I make? No, this one. Look at that. I made a mistake. If we go back over here and say here dot that and here dot that, that should work. So let's run the build again locally, having made that change, and see if we fixed it. Closer. Azure pipelines.cake cannot convert from bool to string. Azure pipelines.cake. Line 44. Hi, Ideal. How are you? Cannot convert from bool to string. I am good, although there's a lot of red text currently on my screen, which means that something's broken, and I don't know what it is yet. So I need to fix it before I run out of time, because it's almost getting to the end of the day. It's not though. I would totally accept that if it was, but it's not. Cannot convert from bool to string. Let me read this properly. And int.try parse value, then do the ternary operator. So cannot convert from bool to string. So is pull request, it's boolean, right? It's a boolean. ID is greater than 0 or it's false. Cannot convert. Hold on. Is pull, that's already a bool. So why would that? No. Why would that? Why would that be a string? Is pull request? I don't think that's a bit strange if it is. Is pull request is already a bool. So why? It's not that. It's not needed. It's really just a null check. If value is not equal to null and int.tryparse value, what? That makes no sense. Makes no sense whatsoever. Is pull request. Oh, hold on. Oh, hold on. I think I made another boo-boo. I think it was me. Hold on. I think it was definitely me. Yeah, it was me. It was me. Totally me. What we want in here instead is... I misread his to-do comment. It was totally me. Stevie was right. Absolutely right. So let's run that again. I suspect that the red text is now going to disappear. And it'll just build. He feels vindicated. Awesome. Right, so that's building now. So there's two things I need to change there. And both of them are on me. At least I'll be able to sleep tonight, and knowing that I've not broken a bunch of people, because I'll check this in and it'll work. So what were those two changes? I've already forgotten what they were. Let's look back up in the text. Oh, I remember. So now if we go back over to this one and we say, it's back over here, Have I missed anything exciting at work, gents, by the way, having been off today? I've already forgotten where that file was. was in the build provider.cake. So this one wants to have copy, paste dot, paste dot, that's that one. Someone asked me to help with the Nexus. Don't know why. You're the Nexus expert now, Stevie. That's what it is. And some merge requests got fixed. Merge conflicts got fixed. Even better. Sounds like a productive day then. And Azure Pipelines.cake. I'm going to take this out. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to paste that in. And I'm going to say GH259 actually fix to do comments. Beautiful. So that was that one, that one. Commit. Go back to this one. Git push upstream. Sad thing is, after I got done, I told them to just use a cleanup policy as that is effect. Git push origin. Oh, so hold on then. So does that mean that we can do custom stuff out with and over and above what the current cleanup policies do? Is that what you're telling me? Can we do additional tasks in Groovy? Oh, interesting. Oh, in which case then maybe that's not wasted effort. Though I looked at the default cleanup policies, and now the default cleanup policies are time-based. So it's literally delete all packages that are after this date. Or you can look at downloads as well. You can look at the number of downloads and say download them if they're less than this. What I want to be able to do, and now you're the Groovy expert, you can help me with, I want to apply those policies, but I also want to always keep the released versions, like the non-beta version numbers of packages. So if I have 4 or 5 packages and 4 of them are betas and one of them is a actual released number, I never want that released number to get cleaned up. There are a ton of things you can do in Groovy, though they aren't very groovy to figure out. So it sounds like you've just volunteered yourself to figure out how to do that, because I want the cleanup policies to always apply to beta versions, but I don't want them to apply to release versions. Beautiful. I think we're going to have a chat about that then, because, yeah, I want that. Because the default cleanup policies... effectively what I want in Nexus is the cleanup policies that exist in MyGet. Because MyGet has that. MyGet essentially says, keep the last 50 packages, but always keep the released versions. I see. Okay, right, we need to have a chat. I'm going to add that to my list of talk to Stevie about Groovy. That just sounds weird. There we go. Groovy. Writing it down. Perfect. That's what we want. That's what we need there. That's definitely what we need. I'm gonna have a Groovy tutorial from Stevie at some point over the next few days. That sounds great. Anyway, I was going to go back to here, and I was going to go. We could Twitch it. If you wanted to, that would delay it until either really early for you on Friday or this time next week. But we could definitely Twitch it if you wanted to. I think that would be a good one. I really do. 125. Let's just see if this worked. So back up to, this is getter. So if we go back to the build, we just put this number in, and then I'll come back to what's written in my chat room there. 125. I'm going to go to tools, and I'm going to delete this. Yes. And then I'm going to go to this one, and I'm going to say build again. It did actually fail. I think that's a great idea, Stevie. Let's do that. So let's have a chat about it first, and then see whether we think it makes sense. And then we could always schedule a stream at some point. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So that didn't fail with a compilation error, which is fine. But now there was a failure at the end of the build. So what's it failing on? Let's see what that's failing on. Dun, dun, dun. Have you guys started doing, or have you signed up for Hacktoberfest, by the way? I think Stevie definitely has a deal. Have you signed up for Hacktoberfest yet? I spoke about that at the start of the stream and told everyone to go and sign up. Perfect. Free t-shirts for everyone. That's strange. Okay. In which case, that part works. So I'm going to go back to my issue here, and I'm going to say Hatsura, I have merged in your work in 373, and I have also taken the steps to rename the top level app fair task to be continuous integration instead. There may well be some tidy up that needs to happen for everything to work properly. But could I ask you to take the latest pre-release version of Cake.Recipe, a spin on your Azure pipelines, to see if they are working? Would expect. Comment. Yes, you did hear about a free t-shirt, Kim. I got the latest few minutes at least. So absolutely, what I'm referring to is this. Did you not do it last year, Kim? I thought you would have. I've done it the last 3 years, I think, and it's great fun. Absolutely great fun. And you get t-shirt and you get stickers. And who doesn't like stickers? And I believe I'm right in saying that there will be some sort of chocolate event. How exactly that's happening and how you get involved specifically in the chocolatey Hacktoberfest, I don't know. But stay tuned. Once I know, I'll let people know. And Adil saying that yes, it definitely is going to be some sort of event, and it's going to be hosted out of the Topeka office, and it's going to be remote accessible. Well, in which case, Kim, you should definitely do it. because who doesn't like a free t-shirt? All you've got to do is click that button, say start hacking, sign yourself up for it, and then any PR that you submit within October count towards it. And as soon as you get 4 or 5, you will rules, blah blah blah. 4. Look at that, 4. That one. If you make 4 pull requests into any GitHub repository, obviously you could totally cheat, and people did cheat last year. There was PRs going in for like adding spaces to files and stuff across the board. As long as you do it in good faith and you create the pull requests in such a way that they're meaningful, then you will get a free t-shirt out of it. That's that. So I while Kim is here, I've just pulled in something that might break a bunch of stuff all over the place. So if you're playing with the latest pre-release version of Cake.Recipe, you will have at least one breaking change that you need to fix. So if I go over here and show you an example, assuming that you can see my screen, /cake.getter, or let's use gem. I've renamed the top level task for Cake.Recipe, so it's no longer called AppVeyor. So if you're building with any pre-release version, so if you're building with the latest pre-release version of Cake.Recipe, then your YAML file is going to need to change, because AppVeyor has now become continuous integration, because I've pulled in the additional build provider for Azure pipelines. So having the entry-level task called AppVeyor no longer makes sense. So Brett Miller, who's no longer in the chat room, he made the executive decision to go ahead and change it. I didn't make that decision. I would never make a decision like that without consulting with someone. And Brett, who knows nothing about Cake.Recipe, decided that it would be a great idea to rename it. So it's his fault. So yeah, there's now 111 repositories that are going to need at least one change when they pull in the latest version of Cake.Recipe. Now that's in addition to other things like Git version configuration file changes and many other breaking changes. But while I think about that, I'm going to go to this thing. Where's the issue? Because this is a breaking change. So I'm going to label that as such. I'm going to keep it open because I suspect that there will be other things that happen. So for me, I think I've kind of got to a natural stopping point, I think. So I think I'm going to call it a night. For those that didn't see it, I had a hard crash of OBS earlier. It just upped and stopped recording and stopped streaming. So that was interesting. I don't know what happened there, but it seemed to recover, and I've got back to a working stream. Friday's stream will be the same, so I should be around on Friday. So I'm going to continue doing some work on Cake.Recipe. Vadim, who is Vihatsura, may have come back to me with whether or not it works on Azure Pipeline. So there may be some work or remediation work on here to pull that in. I've got a list of things that I need to carry on looking at. But there's also another bigger change that I want to look at, which is to this one is the one I'm going to work on next probably, which is to remove references to MyGet throughout the Cake.Recipe codebase, because the potential is that we'll no longer be pushing to MyGet by default. We might be pushing to something like GitHub repository, GitHub package repository, and I want to essentially rename away from MyGet to be I think Kim made some suggestions which were along the lines of build source or unstable source or source of worms, which is great. I think I'm going to go with source of worms. So we'll update both MyGet and NuGet terminology, because we potentially don't push to those as the primary sources for our packages that we're pushing. So that's probably the next one that I'm going to tackle. And that will be Friday lunchtime. And the other thing that I did mention at the start, for those that weren't here, but I had the pleasure of attending WinOps last week, where I got to meet in person for the first time ever some chocolatey folks in the community, Kim being one of them. So it was great to meet both him and Maurice in person for the first time, which was great. And there's a few others that I met in person as well for the first time. So it was a really good conference. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Colleagues in the chat room, Adil, he was over at Ansible Fest, which I hear was also a good conference. So yeah, it was lots of stuff happening last week. But yeah, I was in London meeting some folks in the community, which was really good. So that's all I have for now. And I will speak to hopefully some of you on Friday. And I don't know, Kim, if you have any Azure Pipeline stuff set up with Cake.Recipe, but if you do, it would be good to have that running to try out. If not, probably what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to set up Cake.Gitter to have an Azure Pipelines build as well. Add that into the Cake Contrib Azure DevOps and have that running as well to test out there too. I know Pascal's got some, so I may speak with him to get that build set up in there so that I have both builds running for Cake.Gitter. Cake.Gitter is the one that I'm using as the test bed for some of this stuff, so I will likely set that up and have that as a test bed and go from there. So that's me. That's all I have. Thank you all for attending. Sorry about the hard stop on the stream earlier. I did just update OBS this evening as well, so maybe there's something in there that I need to keep an eye out for. But hopefully it won't happen again. So, thank you very much. Talk to you later.